All right.
Whew.
I know. Big day. So, how'd it go for you?
It was okay. We made it through the bass. I was
did.
looking at them. What'd you
My
notice?
last one done today,
Good job.
which I felt really good about. However, when I was analyzing them and I was looking at the comprehension beyond the text for my group is really going to be an area of need. Same? Did your pictures looking the same? Okay. So as I got into the continuum, pulled this out, started looking at if that's really the area of need for this group right now to start a good starting point for us. Opened it up to interactive read aloud and to within, beyond, and about. And I started looking at the beyond. And the one that really jumped out at me is use specific examples or evidence to support statements or conclusions. I know we're going to be hitting it all year, but that's a really big one to hit. So what do you think? Like it's kind of...
No, you know why I really like it? Because I was also looking at our anchor standards in K-12 in literature. Looking at the central ideas and theme is one of those big anchor statements. So I thought combining it with what you found, if I look at third, it says recount stories including fables, folktales, and myths from diverse cultures, determine the central message, lesson, or moral, and explain how it is conveyed through key details in the text. I think that fits really nicely with what you found in beyond the text and the continuum.
Okay, so we're going to be hitting this anchor standard and our third grade standard. We're also going to be really meeting the needs of students with that beyond the text.
So then I started to think, how do we even pick a book for this read aloud? We know we want to hit the central idea, the theme, but...
We've been doing all that community building at the beginning of the year, and it keeps making me think back to the retreat and how strong that book was. That
was so good. I loved Red.
I did too, and I thought it was there's so much we could do with third grade. So let's use Red, and let's just pull out our template here for interactive read aloud, and let's just get to it.
Okay.
So we've picked Red, we've got our standard, we've got our continuum, opening move. What do you think?
You know what? When they did it at the retreat and they just said, hey, what do you notice about this cover? It was great. The kids were engaged. They right away, adults I should say, not kids, they noticed that the crayon is red but he's drawing in blue. They were noticing what the characters down below said. I think it's high excitement, engaging.
I think the kids will just be like, what? It says red.
Right.
It's blue. What's going on? Okay. So just use the same one.
Same.
Okay. So I'm going to put that down for opening move. Tell me what you notice about the cover.
Okay.
All right. So then we need to plan our stops.
Right.
But really before we plan that, let's talk about that big question we want them to be able to answer at the end and kind of what we think that's going to sound like.
So big question or big idea that we really wanted to hit at is what is the central message or lesson in the story?
Yeah.
You think that works?
What is the central message? Kind of that what is the author's what lesson does the author want to teach us through Red? Okay, so then while you're putting that up there, I'm going to start kind of thinking about if we want the students to be thinking about what lesson is the author trying to teach us, we need to kind of have an idea in our heads of what do we think third graders would be an acceptable response for third graders.
Right.
You know, we don't want them to just say that you should be nice, you should be kind. We want them to go deeper.
Big it up, pick it up a little bit. So
is the real message that the real lesson we want them to learn kind of from the purple crayon that about acceptance and about letting people be
who they are.
Be who they are. Okay, so like our message from third graders is something like, it doesn't have to be exactly that, but something along the lines of acceptance and be who you are.
Yeah, so like should we start at we think or?
Or the lesson, we can just have them, they'll restate the question, so. Lesson from Red is
accept.
Accept others and be who you are. Accept others as they are.
Yeah, I like as they are.
Okay. And when I look at this, I know that beyond is really what we're going for. But we also want to make sure we're hitting a little bit within and about. So when we're planning our stops and this is our end point we're trying to get to,
we need to
hit on some of those. So I'm gonna get some Post-its here. Okay. Let's turn to those pages that we think we're really going to use, and let's just start planning our stops.
That first page with the strawberries, it really started to even talk about he was different than the other kids. The teacher was working really hard to get him to change, and he was trying, he was persevering. So
Okay, so let's see. We're gonna have them turn and talk.
Yep.
So our stop one could be build a conversation with a shoulder partner about just
what you notice.
What you notice.
Because I think that will help them have a connection with Red. They understand him as a character, which is ultimately how we're going to get them to think about what are we learning and how do others treat him.
Sounds good. All right, and then we'll plan our next stop.
Love it.